who they are, and then we will get to Carolyn's presentation. So I'm Hannah Edwards. I'm the Director of Philanthropy and Outreach at the Community Foundation of the Florida Keys. And Amy and I have been facilitating this marketing meeting for 2 years now. And I will hand it over to Amy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Cornier. I'm Communications Manager up at Ocean Reef All Charities and Community Foundation in Key Largo. And I'm trying to do the same balancing act with getting ready for Christmas and I'm actually like using AI for a lot of that too, which is interesting. And finishing up work projects before that long weekend. So
Awesome.
That's me.
Mary, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mary Splain. I'm on the board of an organization called Coast Love, and we work to end coastal degradation by doing mangrove restoration and eliminating plastics.
Awesome. Linda.
Got to unmute myself. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy holidays. I think, there's one woman out there that I get her holiday card from the day after Thanksgiving, and it is always my intention. I say I live in the land of good intentions to get my act together the next year. I've been trying to do this for probably 40 years, so I feel everybody's pain, and I have two working hands. So anyway, great to see everyone. We made time for this meeting today. It's really important. My name is Linda Weinstein. I'm the Senior Development Officer for the Florida Keys Children's Shelter. Really happy to be here.
Elena.
Hi, good morning. My name is Elena Devers. I work at the studios of Key West. I'm the Deputy Director. And so I have my hands on a lot of different things, primarily marketing. So couldn't have come at a better time. I'm really excited to learn more. I've really been enjoying just on my own doing different tasks and learning about AI, but to be able to learn about it in a really structured way, things that I might not have thought about and probably haven't thought about, I really appreciate. So thank you.
Great. Jill.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Jill Keenert. I'm the campus director at Reef Environmental Education Foundation. We're a nonprofit marine conservation organization based in Key Largo. We have a visitor center that's open 6 days a week, free to the public. And we opened in June. So as we wrap up this end of the year, we're kind of realizing we're past that particular phase of startup baby and now looking forward to how does our facilities and our organization overall contribute to our Keys community and beyond? And I think it's fairly obvious that AI is a big part of this. As usual, I have another meeting at 9:15. So I'm going to put my camera off. It's only half an hour most. So I'm going to hope to jump back on for the end of it and for sure catch up on the recording, which I'm so grateful for. Carolyn, it's great to see you. I hope to see you in person again.
I know. I hope to see you soon.
Thanks. Brittany.
I was shocked to hear my name next. I apologize. Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany Brown. I'm the Vice President of Philanthropy for United Way of Collier and the Keys. We are a hybrid nonprofit, so we're funders, but we also have internal programming that helps us to fill the gaps in certain communities. So I'm happy to be here. I use AI. I just actually use it to help with the grants, but also help with my packing list for Africa the day after Christmas. So AI is going to be doing my packing.
That's fabulous.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes, good morning and happy holidays, everyone. I work at Samuel's House. We're a 501c3 homeless shelter for women with children and families. We have 3 facilities, and I'm the deputy director, so I also have my hands in a lot of things. This week, you can call me Santa's helper as I'm delivering toys and helping people, have a nice holiday for their children that wouldn't otherwise be able to. So I want to thank you all for this call. I really appreciate it. I've actually been on it numerous times and I've learned a lot. And I'm also happy to hear I'm not the only one using AI for packing and gift selection and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah, I find it incredibly helpful, not only for work, but my personal life as well.
For sure. Nicole.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Navarro. I'm the executive director and founder of Positive Beginnings in Key Largo. Some of my friends on screen today know what I do already, but we are a nonprofit sanctuary that rescues foxes from horrific conditions like the fur trade and the exotic pet trade. And then we use their stories of survival and resilience to help humans recovering from their own trauma. So one of our partners is the Florida Keys Children's Shelter. We have had a great partnership with them. I also manage all the social media for the Florida Keys Children's Shelter, and I am the executive director of the Ocean Reef Chamber of Commerce. So I wear a lot of hats, but it all works out well and they all mesh very seamlessly together. So I'm excited to be here today on this call. I may have to turn my camera off as well to do some things, but I will be listening.
Great. Chrissy. Chrissy might be doing, oh,
Yeah,
there she is.
I'm coming. Sorry, everyone. I'm Chrissy Wahebe. I am the executive director of the Jose Wahebe Spanish Fly Memorial Foundation. And our mission is to honor Jose's legacy by matching his passion for conservation, education, and making fishing dreams come true. So basically what that means is we fund and coordinate trips for people with life impacting challenges, veterans, foster kids, sick families, sick kids. Brought over 450 individuals out on the water. And we're always looking for more people who could benefit from our program and what we have to offer. So any of you ladies on this call, if you go to our website, and we do have a referral form if there's anyone that's interested that could benefit from what we offer. And I am so grateful for AI in so many ways, but I do feel like I need to learn how to structure it better, so I can so it can just be more efficient. So I'm really looking forward to this call. I'll have to turn my camera off because I do have to get ready, and nobody wants to see that, but I will be listening.
Ben.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Ben Kemmer. I'm the CEO of the Florida Keys Children's Shelter. Nicole just mentioned the partnership we have with her and her doing our social media. But we provide emergency shelter services for children throughout Monroe County, as well as counseling services in all the schools, and then transitional living services for youth and young adults age 16 to 22. We have 2 transitional living programs in Key West. A lot of familiar faces on the call today. So, AI is something we've been using now for at least a couple years. So it's definitely something we're excited about, and still, there's still a lot of questions as it morphs into who knows what. But excited to be here today to see what everybody's got to say. So, thanks, everybody.
Great. Erin.
Hey everyone, Erin Muir. I am the Community Engagement Manager for Moat Marine Laboratory. I'm based in the Upper Keys, but Moat Marine Lab has been working in the Florida Keys for more than 30 years, doing critical coral reef research and restoration work. Outside of my work with Moat, I volunteer on the board of directors of a number of different local nonprofits, such as the Florida Keys Healthy Start Coalition, Florida Keys History and Discovery Center, Elite Dance of the Keys, St. James Children's Center, and I'm an appointee to the Monroe County Land Authority, and I have to pop into that meeting at 9:30. So I look forward to catching up on what I miss from the recording, and appreciate the Funders Alliance putting together this opportunity. It's always wonderful to be able to learn from Carolyn. Thanks.
Great.
Hi, Erin.
Reese. Oh, you're on mute, Reese.
Can you unmute yourself? I can't
There we go.
unmute
There you
them.
go.
I've been trying, sorry.
No worries.
Hi, I'm Reese. I'm the executive director at Sea Camp on Big Pine Key, our Marine Science Education Center and summer camp. And played around with AI a little bit, but don't really use it for much yet.
Okay.
Great. Katie.
Hello, I'm Katie Cleek and I work with Aaron at the Marine Laboratory. I'm the community engagement and marketing coordinator. So I lead a lot of our public tours and communications and our social media channels. So I use AI to mostly like polish things that I've written and sometimes help with like strategic planning, but I'm excited to learn more. So thank you guys for organizing this call.
Thank you. And Shubi.
Hi, my name is Shubi Leonard. I'm the marketing manager for the Florida Keys Healthy Start Coalition, where we help pregnant women and children get all the resources that they need, from diapers to pack and plays to PMAD counseling or anything that they need pretty much. We use AI pretty much to, like everyone is kind of saying, to polish our thoughts, and kind of when you have a jumble of words, AI kind of makes it sound pretty and puts everything together. So I'm excited to see how far AI can go, because I know in the last meeting we were able to kind of learn like more of the technical side and like, the do's and don'ts when it comes to like barriers and when it comes to just, protecting our information. So I'm excited to see how far we can take this when it comes to AI.
Absolutely. And we're going to skip Stefan because he's driving. So we'll get to Carolyn now. For those of you that haven't met Carolyn yet, she's helped us out on this meeting numerous times, and she brings over 27 years of nonprofit leadership. She's the founder of Momentum One Consulting, and she's worked with many nonprofits as executive director and CEO, etc. And she is generous enough to share her knowledge. So we'll just get right into it. Thanks, Carolyn.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, it's great. I see familiar faces and I see a lot of new faces. So I love to hear that and kind of have a little bit of the gamut of, experience with AI, but it sounds like overall, a lot of people have been dabbling in it. So I really like today is I have a PowerPoint, but I'm going to kind of go off script. And then, so if anyone wants to also volunteer their organization for me to run some prompts on, I would love it. So put that, in the chat if you would like to be kind of my guinea pig. And so I can kind of show you behind the scenes how it works. But today is to really kind of go beyond what a lot of people use with AI, which is just kind of using it as a Google replacement, and to be able to give you some real practical ways to utilize it, and thinking about using it for a lot of different ways, right? So I won't go into me a little bit, but just a real quick background. I live in a suburb of Atlanta part-time, and then I live in Key Largo part-time, not as much as I like. I met some of the ladies here through BPW, so that's kind of my introduction to the group. But I've been a nonprofit for a long time. I've also been in corporate and I've owned businesses. And I think all of that gives me a different lens of bringing the business acumen to nonprofit. Saying that, I love nonprofit. I never want to leave it. And listening to all the missions that you do here, it's just like incredible. Like, because no company wants to do that right in the community because they can't make profit off of it. So it's fabulous. I have gone through, and when AI came out in 2022, I dove in and really started consuming it and getting training, and then put myself through a very big AI, the largest AI community of kind of AI developers over 2 years. And so I've had 150 plus hours of AI training. And so I'm certified an AI consultant. So I say that to say, like, I know the kind of the background, I know how to create agents, I know all that stuff. I'm not going to do that to you today, but I want to give you applications on how kind of the person without that training can implement it and use it. And just a quick fun fact, I've been coming to the Keys since I was 19 years old, when my husband and I, who was not my husband then, started dating in college and coming down there. So Momentum One, I do really, it's focused on nonprofit fundraising, but in my fundraising engagements, they are kind of all encompassing because I look at strategy, I look at board development, I do, analyze databases. I help you understand how to diversify revenue. I write your appeal letters using AI, as Aaron can contest. And so, I really work kind of roll up my sleeves with, I would say, more of the more smaller or emerging nonprofits. If you're a big household name, you've got tons of staff. That's not my sweet spot because, as Hannah said, I was executive director of different nonprofits, growing them. And so I like to kind of focus on where I can help people get traction and grow. So enough about that. So today, again, I'm going to kind of talk to you just broadly about the landscape, but I'm going to, again, give you like really efficient tools to be able to help, because I know none of you here have lots of free time. So this is where AI can really, really help. And some people say, well, I use it to kind of, what I'll say, zhuzh up my language or make it, and that's great. But there's a lot of other ways maybe you haven't thought about using it that we're going to touch on. All right, so I'm going to kind of close out your little faces here so that I can kind of see the screen. So like, why AI? And I think you're touching on it, right? It's a communication tool to be able to develop and improve your content. It can free up lots of time if used correctly. So that's the big if, right? Like sometimes people are like, it's too general, it's not working. And then that's honestly, it's because of the user, it's not because of AI. So we're going to kind of walk through that. It can actually help you improve your revenue and give you ideas and actually do some research for you, which is incredible. And I will share with you kind of an agent behind the scenes. And then it's going to be able to help kind of accelerate those ideas and be that other thought leader or other person sitting in your corner to help you navigate some of your conversations. So one of the things I want to do is, before I get into kind of some of the structural things, I want to ask, is there any, oh, I see it. Is there any volunteers that would like to give me your name of your organization, your domain name, and then while we're doing some of this work, I'm going to run some stuff behind the scenes and show you what it produces. It's not going to go into your private things. So would anyone like to volunteer? And please speak up because I can't see all the faces if anyone would like to volunteer.
I'd like to.
I would.
Okay, wait, who, tell me that, I can't hear this. So, okay, first person, tell me your name of your organization.
Positive Beginnings, PAWSITIVE Beginnings. I can type it in the chat too, if that's easier.
Okay, give me that and give me your website in there. Okay, and another person?
That's me, Chrissy, and I put our website in the chat, but if you can't see the chat, it's Jose Wehebe, WEJE, B as in boy, E, foundation.org. And the name of our organization is Jose Wehebe Spanish Fly Memorial Foundation.
Okay. All right. I've got Healthy Keys. All right. Florida Keys. All right. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I will use each one of you as an example. I'm going to start real quick. I'm going to escape here. And so I'm going to have you bear with me as I escape out of this and I try to, all right, this is, okay. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to stop screen sharing for 1 second, and then I'm going to pull up my friendly Chat-GPT. All right. And then I'm going to screen share again. So bear with me here. We're going to screen share. And so tell me if you can track with me here if you've got Chat-GPT up. Can you see that? Can someone see it or let me know?
I can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So Chat-GPT, you all probably have seen this screen, but Chat-GPT, when I plus down, has all these different modes in here: deep research, create image, company knowledge, website, and more. There's something new and cool called agent mode. So I am going to use agent mode on, I'll pick the Florida Keys. I'll pick your last one, the Healthy Start. So what I want to do is I want to ask agent mode to be able to do some research on potential donors for you. So one of the first things you can do in anything, let's say that you're going in and you want to ask, Chat-GPT or Claude or Perplexity a question, you can actually ask it to help you write the prompt. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to get back and show you this. I know this seems a little bit disjointed right now, but it takes time to run. So I'm going to say like, help develop a prompt for agent mode to run research on non-profit potential donors for makeup here. Okay. Right. See. The good thing about ChatGPT, if you haven't seen, is like you can type in, like you can be a really bad typer and it still understands you. So bear with me here. Can you see this as I'm typing?
Yeah,
Yay,
it's
nay?
just we can see it. The screen's a little small though. I guess it's just the size. It's the same size as your PowerPoint window.
How about, oh, so you know what? Maybe my view is hard. So I might have to change my view after this. So I'm going in and just saying you are an expert nonprofit development research analyst. Help develop a prompt for agent mode to run research on nonprofit potential donors for the Florida Keys Healthy Start Coalition to find new donors and return contact information. So I'm just going to ask this. And I think what I'm going to do here too. So I'm going to change the presentation mode so that you can see it a little bit better. Layout. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Better? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what I prompted. And then I'm going to, so it's taking a while here. So I just want to get through this one piece and then we're going to go in. I'm going to have it run the prompt because it will take like 10 minutes for this crazy prompt to run in the background. So I don't want to waste more time. So one of the pieces that I want you kind of to take away from this is that how can you use AI to be able to, again, like get more information? And it's astonishing what you can do beyond just content creation. So this agent mode is a new mode in ChatGPT. One of the things walk away with is like, don't be afraid to play around and click down into ChatGPT or Claude and look at all the different modes that they have because they do different things. Deep research is incredible. Agent mode is incredible, but they all act a little bit differently. So don't use just the general when you need something a little bit deeper. So don't feel like you're stuck using like the regular ChatGPT. All right, so this is crafting a prompt. All right,
Sorry,
can you see this now?
Yes. Can I ask you one question? I am in ChatGPT and I'm not seeing that agent and sources at the bottom of my chat window there.
So you know what? Do you have a free version of ChatGPT?
No, I pay for it.
All right, let's go back and look at that. You should have it available to you for that level. So we'll take a look at this. All right, I've copied the prompt. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to click into more. So did you go to more?
I don't have any of that drop down.
All right, let's take a look at that offline.
Okay.
And then we'll see. All right, so this is the prompt. And what I did was I just created this prompt. I'm going to delete all of this here. And then I'm going to have it run behind the scenes. So I'm in agent mode. So I just want to kind of show you. And then we're going to think, and so I'm going to get off this page because it's going to take a long time to be able to find this data. So I'm going to keep that running And I'm going to stop screen sharing. And we'll come back to that. All right. All right. Okay. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, it's hard. I can't see you. All right. So when we talk about AI, typically, like what we're talking about, AI is just this giant blanket term. Underneath AI and how we interact with it is through these large language models. The large language models are ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Grok, all of these. They're trained on data, and then they're also generative AI. So they're learning as they go. So they have all this trained data, and then they had train as you have conversations with them, and they can understand it. But the way that we talk to these are really, people are using the large language models as a Google, but we have to be able to talk to them in a language that they can understand. Even though they understand our own vernacular, prompt engineering is absolutely the key to being able to not to be able to get the specific answers on like a single shot prompt that you want to be able to get so that you're not going back and forth. A lot of people complain that they're like, oh my gosh, like it's giving me, it's giving me really general answers. It's not, in tune to my voice. So your prompt engineering, how specific you are, will be able to help you get much better outcomes. Has anyone played around with the other different large language models? And have they liked any of them?
I use Claude sometimes.
Me too.
Okay, use Claude.
Yeah, I've used
Yeah.
Claude as well.
Yeah. I like Claude. I like Claude for a lot of my writing and language, and I think that's really beneficial. I use Perplexity for research. I think it's really interesting for research, and it goes in because it can interface with the what like right now it can go live to the to the current website. Some of these were trained, and so they have a lag, but I really like that Perplexity for that. Grok is an interesting one. Grok is Grok has a lot of applications. I have a friend that uses Grok as his therapist. I really kid you not. And there's a mode that says like pretend you're a therapist. And he's like, I got more out of Grok in my daily conversations than I paid a therapist. So it's really interesting. Like each one has its own kind of fine tuning. But I would say ChatGPT and Claude are probably have a lot more capabilities. And so I tend to lean on both of those. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate those today with you, but I would just encourage you to, there's free versions of them. I pay for Claude and I pay for ChatGPT. I don't understand why you don't have those other modes. So we can kind of chat offline and look at that. But I like all of them. I tend to use bits and pieces of them, but focus more of my energy on really trying to understand and learn ChatGPT and Claude. So let's talk about prompt engineer. Or let's talk here about AI and what you can actually use it for. We can use AI for image generation. Has anyone done that?
I have
Yes.
with
I
limited
have.
success.
Oh, what was it? Did you like it?
Sometimes it was great and sometimes it didn't work. If I asked it to add any text to it, it couldn't get the text correct.
Yeah, that's absolutely a limitation of it. So I'll share with you. And so I'll share with you like kind of how you generate images from it. And you have to be really, again, specific in how you generate them, but it's a great tool to be able to do it. I've done it where here's an application like, for the shelter or for anyone where you're dealing with some sensitive information where perhaps you can't tell or show real faces, or there's some, or maybe you don't have a story. And I think that's a lot of times where nonprofits are like, I want to tell a story, but I don't exactly have a photo. Maybe I have an amalgam of stories. You can use an image generator. You can put a little qualifier, like this is a likeness of someone, but you can ask for that. And you can get really detailed in your prompt and be able to get like real realistic images. Video makers are a great way. I've used Veed. I've used Loom to be able to create videos for your organization, because being able to get out there and have little short snippets of videos is a great way to be able to talk about your message in a way that really resonates. AI agents are what we're creating behind the scenes. AI agents are really like another employee. And this is where I'm going to show you how specifically to use like custom GPTs or Claude projects to act as agents. But now there's a way for you even to develop a higher level agent to be able to do very specific tasks for you. This gives you back hours and hours of time. We all, I think, have played around with content creation, but again, it's a great way to do it. And research tools. So we have an agent doing research behind the scenes. Grant writing is another way. It can look at your grant, it can improve your grant, but it also you can create a custom, what I'll call agent or custom GPT to be a grant writer for you. So you're going to train it. And then data analysis, which I'm going to show you as well. And then strategy and reasoning. I use AI, specifically, I'll use Chat-GPT to help prepare me for a meeting. What do I mean by that? I'll demonstrate it for you, but I go into Chat-GPT and I will put in a proposal that I've put out there, let's say for potential client. And I then put their LinkedIn profiles of people that I'm going to meet. And I ask ChatGPT to review my proposal. And so think about this from a donor standpoint. You have a donor or a foundation that you're going to meet. I am meeting with this foundation. This is their website. This is the person that I'm meeting. Here's their LinkedIn profile. Help prepare me. Here's my organization. Help prepare me for this meeting. Help me identify where we're aligned, what questions this person might have based upon their background. And it will produce a report for you that helps prepare you. It's really incredible. Has anyone ever tried it? I love it. Again, I'll show you. So I know this is theoretical until I dive in, but I'm trying to keep on the slide so I'm not jumping around for you. Before we get into showing you kind of all the great stuff, prompt formulas matter. It is absolutely a necessity that if you take nothing away from this, I'm going to give you a prompt formula that you need to use, right? And there's components of it. If you don't do it and you put a basic prompt in, you're going to get very generic outcome. So the prompt engineering is a formula, and there's several components that you need to do to be able to get the best response, to be able to talk to the large language model, regardless of which one you use. So this is the formula. I'm going to share this, this PowerPoint with you. There's an acronym. I've highlighted really the yellow ones, which I feel like are really essential here. So the first is, and not necessarily in this order, it doesn't matter. I usually start with role. I tell it the role you are going to be, and I hype it up, which sounds ridiculous, but I go like, you are an expert. You are like the very best, content creator for nonprofits. You are, you have had 30 years of advertising and marketing experience with a New York advertising agency and know how to write persuasive copy, right? I tell it, you are. I don't say, act like, I say you are. And so I give it a role. What is it that you want to do? So let's say that you're a research, you are a research analyst, in nonprofits that is, highly adept at analyzing donor data and have worked for big, consulting firms. I tell it what it is. Then I put in the task, and I write the word, task. You are going to review the attached spreadsheet and identify the following information. What donors are lapsed? What donors have given me signals that they might want to be engaged at a higher level? Who are my most loyal donors, and what is the opportunity? Context. Here's the name. I am with Reef, I am with Reef. This is my background. This is who we are. Here's a link to my website. We are using this context. We are using this information to help me prepare for end of year outreach so that I can help to garner more end of year donations, right? I'm going to give it context. And then for additional context or maybe more examples, I attach things on it. Like maybe it's here's an example of some of my donor if I was writing an appeal letter, I might put past appeal letters on there. I might again add examples of things that I want it to be able to, like a desired output or report, produce this for me. The type of output, generate put this into a table that can be downloaded into Excel. I would like you to identify and have the columns. I'm very specific if I want it that way. The name of the contact, the opportunity, when was their last time giving? Like I can be very specific. Or I can say produce a report, and I'd like the report to kind of have these headings. So I'll pause for a second. Does that sound doable, or is that any questions about that?
Definitely doable.
Yeah.
Do you
when you do go on, Hannah.
Sorry. As far as role and context, you do this for everything that you ask it to do, or can some of this be put into the profile that you have with the GPT?
So two different things. If I have a custom GPT or a project in Claude, I've already given it this type of prompt at that custom GPT level. But if I'm just pulling up and it's new chat or new, whatever, I put in this because it's starting from scratch. Even though you think it learns your history, I still have to give it this background. I have to give it this background, especially for me, because I'm using this for multiple clients. I don't need it to be confused, right? I need to be very specific, but absolutely do this. And I'll show you how to create a custom GPT. That's what we're going to do today together. So you can do that. You create a system-wide prompt, but absolutely, I would recommend doing this.
Cool.
So here's an example, of a prompt formula. Let me minimize you all here. So again, you're a seasoned corporate partnership marketing, partner marketing. I didn't finish my sentence, and have 30 years in the nonprofit space. Write a compelling cold outreach to a prospective corporate partner to request a meeting. Your organization is Sky Precious Kids. Go to the website here. You're reaching out to companies that have supported equity, expanding opportunities for those with disability. Right. So here's my context. Output: the email should be friendly, professional, and not sound like AI wrote it. Keep it under 150 words. Do not include dashes or emojis. Provide 5 headlines, right? That will help increase open rate. Ask me questions. Like, don't hallucinate. Right? Don't hallucinate. Don't assume. Like, I've done things. I'm like, where did you get the story? And it's like, oh, sorry, I just made it up. Like, don't hallucinate. Like, don't do that to me, which sounds super silly. And then I'll show you kind of what that looks like. So I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to go to my friend Claude. I'm going to go to my friend Claude, and I'm going to find chat, and we'll actually, I will just use this and plug it in. So I'll screen share with you. All right. All right. My technology is not liking me today. Here, let's just go to Claude. I'm going to go screen share. I've got too many windows open for you all. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so this is a custom GPT. Sorry, let me find this here. I might just have to do it. All right, I'm gonna do a new chat, and I'm gonna use one of your examples. Okay, so role. You are an expert fundraising copywriter. So I can modify it, that has years of experience writing emotionally resonant appeal letters to garner donations. Your task is to write an end of year appeal letter that emotionally story tells. See, I don't have to write correctly. And drives donations for, all right, hang on, I'm going to grab the organization here. For the positive beginnings, what are the things that you're trying to raise money for?
I mean, most of it is just general operating support. We do get grants specific to the programs we host with the children and the Women's Treatment Center and with law enforcement. But at this point, it's just getting general operating support.
Okay.
For the
I'm just going
sanctuary.
to put in that we're looking to focus on Women's Treatment Center. And let's see. Okay. Is that okay to say? Is that on your website?
Yeah, we're not looking for support for the programs we do with people. We're just looking for general operating support to run the sanctuary, animal care, vet care, food costs, repairs, maintenance.
All right. Produce an email. 150 words or less with 3 calls to action to donate. And use your expertise. Now here I would probably on this, I would actually give it an example of one that you liked, right? To be able to do this. So I've got my role, I've got my output, I've got my task, context. Give me some context real quick. So we operate a sanctuary, right, to rescue foxes from horrific conditions and use their stories to help others that have faced trauma heal. So let's see what it does. Okay. Is that good enough? Captured some of it?
I know, it's a lot.
Yeah. So it says ruminating on it, stand by, which is hilarious, right? So it's thinking about it. A rescued fox changed everything. So it's like when Maple arrived at our sanctuary, she would make eye contact. Rescued from a breeding mill, she'd known only fear and isolation. Today, Maple's transformation is helping trauma survivors find their own path to healing. Her story, see, I didn't tell it not to put dashes. Her story, moving from terror to trust, mirrors a journey of the people we serve. Donate now. Your year-end gift provides the daily care, veterinarian support, and sanctuary operations that make this healing possible. Every rescued fox, every person who finds hope through their story. Give today. Before December 31st, will you help us continue life-changing work? Your blah, 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 blah. Not too bad, right?
I mean, that was basically my year-end appeal.
Right. Right. So think about that. Like
in my own words,
right,
but yeah.
Right. So, but it helps, like it gets you to a place where you can start to, do this in a much quicker way, right? In a much quicker way. And so, I use it all the time to be able to take letters, to have calls to action, I will ask it to say, again, like, give me like 3 different clickable subject lines. Return, you are, well versed in email marketing and you understand like how to create subject lines that have intrigue but also increase open rates. I may use it for that in my appeals, right? So that's like a great way to just play around and use it for very specific tasks. What do we think about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's see. Let's see, donor research here. Resume. Still going, still thinking about things. I'm going to give you, tell me if my screen has flipped over. Can you see ChatGPT now?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to share with you a way that I use it. We touched upon this that was utilized for prep for a meeting. All right. So your task is to prepare me for a panel interview with STE Foundation. Attached is my response for a proposal. I'm not a scientist, but have experience working in this was an epidemiology society. So please provide background context for me while what they do. And so I've gone through all this stuff in the prompts. I've given them the proposal. And then they've prepared a background for the panel interview for me. And then I've continued. So it's all this information, like what's fundraising, what's illegal, what are some fundraising angles for campaign ideas. And then I've said, then I've gone back and said, okay, now let's take it a step further. This is all that it gave me on this. And then I've come back and I've asked it to, explain epidemiology in a layman's term to me. So it's come back and it's done that. And then I've gone back and I've asked another question about, they're looking for a dual entity structure. So I've asked it to give me some examples of dual entity. And so it's produced all this research in a matter of moments for me. And then I went through this and I know I'm going fast, but it's going through, I've prodded it for more information. It's given me just tons of documents. I've said, this is an email that I received to them. These are the people that I'm meeting with. I didn't even give it their LinkedIn profiles. I said, these are the people that I'm meeting with. Prep me and elaborate how they will respond to me and how my background may fit. And then they've given me, can you all see this here? The profiles of the interviewers, their background, possible focus in the interview, thoughts for me to consider. And then I went back and I said, like, okay, here's their interview questions based upon my resume, my LinkedIn, my request for proposal, help me to navigate my answers, right? Help me to understand like how I can better articulate, this is my medical background because I have medical background. Like, here's my medical background and how it fits. This was all done in a series of detailed prompts. And I share this to be vulnerable with you. Like, this is how I've used it. This is how you can use this for a donor meeting. This is how, general preparation tips, like here, going through it. So this was stuff, it would have taken me so long for me to, galvanize my thoughts, put it on paper, and be able to absolutely go through this and think about how I can clearly articulate it and pull the research. Hours and hours of work. This was probably 10 minutes worth of me working with Claude to do that. So this keeps pausing. So I'm going to have a go. So what do we think of that? Like, do you see that this could be application for you to use it, in your world to be able to prepare for donor meetings? Like, it's a way I never thought about it. All right. So I'm going to go back and share. So we talked about prompt engineering. All right. We talked a little bit about that. I'm going to give you, again, I'm going to share prompts with you, but these are ways that you can kind of use it to write compelling copy. I use it with Claude. I can use it with Chat-GPT as well. Talked about a little bit. People have used it for ideation. I think it's a great way, like, again, for I'm having a strategy meeting or I'm trying to, here's our goals as an organization. Help me craft a strategic plan or strategic tactics that I can do to be able to accomplish this next year. Ask me questions. When you do that, you're going to give it their role. You are a strategy expert working in nonprofits. Your task is to help me create a tactical plan for 2026 that aligns with my strategic goals. The output will be a roadmap for me in 2026, broken down by fundraising, capacity building programs to help me navigate a month-by-month calendar. Here's the background. Here's an attachment of my goals. Here's the information on my organization. Here's what the board is interested in hearing. Ideation. It doesn't mean you're going to take it and be like, great, I'm done. You're going to use that then to be able to be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, let's elaborate on this. So I use it as an iterative process back and forth to help me work. But it all stems from great prompt engineering. I've shown you where it can actually help kind of analyze, and so enhance your blind spots, be able to really, really help punch holes in it. I also use it for data. So I'm going to kind of show you an example again of data where it can really, really help with data analysis, which I don't know why this is pausing, guys. So it's giving me a little bit of grief. It wants me to stay on here, I think, in agent mode. So we'll see if I can get there. All right, I'm going to show donor research here. Well, it's thinking. Let's see. So this is still going through all right, our healthy start prompts here. All right. Nope. Okay. So can you see my screen here on ChatGPT?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Sorry for all the back and forth. So I put in, you are an expert data analyst that can spot trends and have 25 years in nonprofit space working to cultivate donors. Your task is to review the attached spreadsheet, which has donations of donor level de-identified. And so this is, all right. So I've gone through and I've given it, so I've prompted it, and I wanted it to be able to give me information on donors. So now I have a tool, and I've taken donor data, and I want to, let's say you have your spreadsheet, right? How many people have spreadsheets of donor data? So I'm going to say, like, you're here, you are an expert analyst of donor data. Use the attached spreadsheet for my nonprofit. I'm going to make it to identify donors who are lapsed, donors who have who are giving signals for higher levels of engagement, and those that are my most loyal donors. Generate a specific plan for me to activate for end of year giving. All right, this is roll. All right. Task. Your work is very, I'm hyping it up, important to my organization to drive donations. Please provide details at a donor level as well as a summary. All right, so what I've done is I'm going to add my file. So always good to add your files. I created a donor fake name so that I'm taking old donor data and I've de-identified it. Today is December. I'm doing this only because the donor data is old, from an old, right? And I click go. So it starts to gyrate and thinking about my donor data. Has anyone used ChatGPT to analyze your donor data or Excel files?
I've used it in like more like marketing analysis for spreadsheets and things.
Okay.
But not
Yeah.
donor data. I guess I've been nervous about donor data. Putting it out there. And maybe that's
that's a great point. If you have your own custom GPT, or if you have your own proprietary paid for version, it's not sharing that data. If you use a free, do not do this. No, do not do this. So, absolutely, it's not going to train others because you're protected because it's yours. Now, I don't know about breaches, but I know that, like I'm using one that's on a business account. And so that business account, it's protected and all of our company information is protected on there. But so it's analyzing. And you see it's taking a little bit of time. It's not like, and I didn't give it clear output like to do. I did tell it like the report, but I could have told it to dump it into an Excel file and give me the names and label the output, put it into a table. It knows what a table is. So it's going and computing everything. Like we can see it working on here. It's not like a fast task, but it's given me great information and I'll double check it, right? Like always go back and like, don't just assume, but double check it. Like it's writing it and it's driving this behind the scenes. So revising data mapping, merging the data. All right. It's taking a little bit longer, but okay. Hey, like I will let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Hopefully it's only a few more seconds and I'll show you what this looks like. Any thoughts so far while this is doing its magic? No. Has anyone created custom GPTs?
I don't think so.
By that, do you mean putting a detailed profile into it, or?
Well, so custom GPTs are kind of like little agents, and Claude, if you have a paid version, is also a little agent. So I think, see, investigating, it's still going here. So I'm going to click over and hopefully it's still working its magic. Can you see Claude? Did it flip to Claude? Okay, sometimes it doesn't. All right. So normally we come in and it's got chat history in here, right? So it's got chat history. Here, Claude has something called projects. And so if you look at projects or the same as custom GPTs, you can think of this as having your own individualized little worker that focuses on one task. And so it can be, so for me, like this is a cold outreach. And so this is a cold outreach project. This is appeal writer. This is expert note taker, right? Note taker. And so like what I do with note taker is I've given it a format. I take all my Fathom or my, and I dump it in there and it analyzes my notes and produces it. For appeal writer can be, any, reframe urgent. So it'll go through, but I've created in this, hang on, edit details. I've named it, and I'll show you how you named it. And then I put in that system-wide prompt. Create a fundraising appeal using this blueprint. Campaign details, name, who you serve, all of this. A beneficiary story. I've given it the email requirements. And then I've given it specific output. Calls to action in bold. Without you, transformation, avoid using this. And then I've given it like some of my old ones that I wrote for clients as a positioning prompt. Like here's some examples. So let's say we go back and we want to go to projects. New project. I come over here and I click new project. So someone give me an idea for a new project. Anyone have one that they do?
I'd use mine for social media content a lot.
Okay, what specific social media? LinkedIn or
Instagram?
Okay. Instagram, writer. All right. Okay, create project. I click on that. Now I'm going to give it the instructions. So I actually tell it here what I want to include in here. And so hang on. So I give it I put it in the description. So I tell it everything I want it to do. Now I'm like, I don't know. And I could just give it again, the role, right? You are an expert, social media marketer, right? And then I go into all the things, but maybe I'm like, I don't exactly know where to begin. This is like a quick tip for any kind of large language model you're using. If I don't know how to write my prompt, I can actually cancel out of here and I can do a chat and say, you are an expert prompt engineer. Your task is to create a Claude project to help me write engaging Instagram content, right? For, Ocean Reef, right? And so I just write this Ocean Reef Community Foundation, right? So I go into that, blah, blah, blah. Provide a prompt, right? And so then I can ask it to, I put in the prompt here, and then it will start to write the prompt for me. I do this with so many things because I know the role, task, that create formula, but maybe I do it and I'm just like, okay, I'm missing something. Take this prompt and improve the prompt for me so that I can have, a best shot of getting the information I need.
Yeah.
So I use ChatGPT and Claude to write my prompts to be able to do what it needs to be. So here you go. So it's like asking like what type, right? Where are you located? So it's asking me questions, which is great. What is your brand voice? So what are the challenges? So once I have that, then I can write that. So then I'll give it more context. But I go into Claude projects and I write. So I go into, there's projects, and I can use my new formula to write any project. And so when I come in here, I actually don't have to recreate the wheel. So we were asking, the question was, do I have to go in and write all of that each time? Well, you don't when you create a project or a custom GPT. You use it over and over again. So I use this all the time. And you can see, sorry, Erin, one of my clients, I have gone in and downloaded tons of information. I'll do this by client, my Powerful project, or someone else. I've downloaded how this organization talks about themselves. This is all the information that's there. Like this is guidance to help the prompt. So when you write something, you want it to be written in your voice. That's really important. I ask Claude or ChatGPT to determine my voice. I load it with lots of examples. And so one of the great tricks that you can do if you don't know your brand voice or you don't exactly know how you've written, what's your style of writing, you can take old content that you've used and you can prompt it into a chat and say, these are examples of how maybe it's a transcript of our conversation. You put it in there. Maybe it's a couple emails you've written. Here's some letters that you've wrote out to a donor. Here's a report that you did. And you can prompt it to say, use this information. You're an expert marketer at understanding brand voice, and use this information, to be able to help return a brand voice guide that I can use in all of my communication. So it's another great trick that you can use. And now you have this brand voice that you can incorporate into a new project or a custom GPT. Does that sound confusing or does that sound?
No, that sounds fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
those are projects that normally would take longer.
Yeah, here's a example. So I use it all the time, and it's given me really good information. I don't think I realized how I came across. I kind of felt like I knew, but it was like, oh, you are semi-professional, like you are friendly, approachable, kind of semi. It wasn't like I was unprofessional, but it was like I don't use language like I'm in academia, right? I'm trying to be very kind of informative and slightly informal because that's my personality a little bit more. So, how do I speak? So when I ask it to write an email for me, like maybe it's in response to, it could be any kind of communication, use my brand voice. And then I ask it to create a brand voice guide for me. And so I've done that. The best thing is that so many people do Zoom meetings or whatever, and you're recording it. I have gone into Fathom and I take a copy of that transcript and then I put it into a Word document and I attach the transcript. I've done that and I've attached 4 transcripts. I was like, tell me how I speak. And I was like, all right, Carolyn, here you go. Here's your, here's you. And so I think that's great to be able to do as a tool so that we can make sure that we're being authentic to who we are. All right, so I'm going to advance to from current slide. So and this is, kind of the output that I got from one of my prompts about me, right? The tone, warm, professional. I said professional, one said semi. Formality, or maybe it's more my formality. I'm casual enough. Like, how do I speak in short, kind of direct? That's not a surprise for me, direct phrasing. And so this is kind of, again, talking about my style. So I copy and paste this into what I'm doing. And I actually created what I'll call Momentum One brand voice. And so I'll use that as a custom GPT or a Claude project to help me when I'm writing things. I can also copy and paste this into just a prompt as part of the context. Use my brand voice. Here it is. And I put that into the prompt for context. So we spoke about this a little bit, but I'm going to show you now, again, like how to use a custom GPT to be able to do that. And I want to be mindful of time. And the reason that we do custom GPTs is because if we're just putting things in under just a chat, it's not going to get to kind of learn, even though it's not going to be very specific. So I like to create custom GPTs or Claude projects for very specific tasks. And you kind of saw my Claude, shared that with you. I do the same thing for GPTs. So think about, as you take away this conversation, think about the things that you do on repeat over and over, whether it's social media. I had one for just LinkedIn writing. I did one for appeals. I did one for each client. I did one for my brand voice. I did one for, in data analytics. And so I share that with you because think about each custom GPT or each Claude project can be almost an employee for you. And then you train it over and over again. So these are just examples again, as I, talked about grant proposals. Wonderful for your organization to write in. You could put copies of your grants, your past grants that have been successful, not unsuccessful. Ask the system to generate a prompt for a custom GPT for grant writing, using your brand voice, giving it context of all your case for support, your background, your programs, all of it, and then give it the kind of the body copies of a grant that you would like it to report out on. So I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to stop sharing and we'll shift gears for a second back to our friends at, let's see, go back to, okay, here. Well, I have it. So many things open. Hang on. My system's going to blow up me. All right. Can you see Chat-GPT?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm going to show you how to create one. But the donor records that we just pulled together, by the way, that donor report for analytics, it says this is what I found. This is the donors that have given. This is how many lapsed donors. This is the at-risk donors, right? This is an engagement, most loyal. And then it gives me actually the names of people. And these are, again, de-identified data. I just made up fictitious names, top lapsed donors for lifetime value. And then it's giving me a report. By the way, I can copy and download all of this. What their ask is, what their gift count. I would hate to have Charles Martinez, whoever this real person is, with 86 gifts that's lapsed donor. Like that's someone I should have been stewarding, right? On this. Okay. And then it goes through and gives me like my most loyal donors and it gives me reports and I can download this full list. It gives me an activation plan. It gives me a day-by-day sprint, right? And then it gives me I didn't even ask for this, right? But it gives me copy and content. So it is incredible the amount of information it can give you. And you can download all these. It asks, now here's your full list. Here's the tab, download it. But it's pretty fast and furious for you to get your arms wrapped around data. And this wasn't possible a while ago, but now with, the new enhancements to ChatGPT, it's doing a really great job.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to go back. we're going to go back in and we are going to look at, where are we on here? We are going to do just a custom GPT. All right, so I'm going to show you custom GPT. So I go in here and it's new chats. But there down below on the left-hand side, there's GPTs. So if you click on like explore GPTs, it's going to give you one, it's going to give you anyone that you made for your organization, but it's also going to give you ones that are out there that you can use. So video, here's your Expedia travel. There's already one, whoever's using ChatGPT for travel, you can just dip into Expedia. Scholar, image generator, and then there's a way for you to make a create button. I'm just going to show you image generator for a second. And so I can click on image generator. Generate an image. All right. Why are you hiding this from me? All right, my screen's all crazy. Okay, start chat. So I can create a photorealistic image of a young girl ages 5 to 7 on a playground in an inner city, right? She has brown hair and is playing on a swing. Let's see what it does. She has a sad look on her face. This is probably going to take a little bit to spin. So while we're waiting on our friend, and it may not take that long. Oh, look what it's doing. Let's see what we got here. It's thinking about it. I can see the swing set. We all see the swing set coming to life here.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
Not too bad, right?
Right.
And that can be very specific. I was working with a group that was a faith-based charity that did work like in a lot of really bad places to help kids from sex trafficking, and this was like really important to do because they couldn't share the faces, right? Or everyone they had was looking away. Well, when you're trying to draw emotion, you want to look at someone in the eyes. So we could tell the story of Maria and how she had this transformational journey when she faced the nonprofit, but I couldn't share Maria's face. So,
Right.
I could put a little, image, this is just representative image. But this is a way, again, for an appeal letter. If you're wanting to show, just a background of kids playing at camp or engaging in the water or looking at a fish, or maybe you don't have it, you can do that. Like you can use that. So this is kind of, again, this was just a custom, this was a custom GPT that I found on ChatGPT that's available, an image generator. So I go back to explore GPTs, and under the top right side, there's my GPTs and there's create. So when I click on create, it's asking me what I want to configure, what I want to build. And then it's giving me this box here, configure. So I can name it if I wanted to, oh, my typing is horrible. Instagram. Oh yeah, all caps, Carolyn. Instagram creator. And then I write the description, and here under instructions, I will use that prompt. You are a social media expert, for advertising, how to drive highly engaged content. Background, you are creating Instagram, reels or stories or whatever it is, combination for, Ocean Reef Community Foundation. This is our website. This is what we're trying to do. This is who we are trying to appeal to. Produce a content calendar for 30 days and include, subject line, potential image, copy, calls to action, right? All of the output that you want. And then I would click, configure, and I do create. And once it's in there, then it appears in my custom GPTs. And then every time I want to go to it, it becomes an agent for me, right? If I go to my GPTs, let's see what's in there, Lord knows. So brand voice. This is one I did for brand voice. So if you wanted to give me your brand voice, let's configure. So I did this and I built this. So anytime I was working with a client and I wanted to help them understand their brand voice, I already had one created, right? Because this is something, again, I identified that I was going to do over and over again. It's unlimited the number of custom GPTs or projects that you have. So again, your task is to walk away with this and break this down and think about what tasks could you do isolate and you use repetitively that you can do this. Create one for a grant writer. Again, like create one for a grant writer. If you're not sure how to configure it, remember that you can just go to ChatGPT, tell it what you want to do, use that formula, tell it why you are, an expert at prompt engineering. You want to create, a very strong, configure a custom GPT. You need to develop a set of instructions. There's your background and let it work for you. And then copy and paste it right into the instructions. Fabulous. Like this again is a, game changer for, our ability to be able to get stuff done. All right, I'm going to show you, I'm kind of off script here and I'm going, but I want to kind of, again, give you a lot of tools. I'll show you another tool that I use that I absolutely love. Tell me if my screen has changed.
Yes.
Can you see Gamma?
I do.
Okay, perfect. All right, all right, so under Gamma, it's GAMMA.app. I cannot stand to make PowerPoint presentations or really anything. Like I really, really stink at it. So I use Gamma to actually create a PowerPoint presentation for me in moments. Now, I actually use Gamma and I use some other things to be able to help generate a whole PowerPoint deck. So I might go into my friend Perplexity and say, I don't know why my caps are locked. You are an expert presenter and a nonprofit fundraising consultant that is needing to create a outline for a PowerPoint for a presentation on your services. Look at my website, momentum1consulting.com, and help generate a outline that Gamma can use for a presentation. I don't even have to do this, but I actually use other tools to help me put it in Gamma. But I'll show you like how quickly what it can do. And it's crazy. Like it could get stuff done for you in a moment. And it can do websites, it can do a host of other things. So I'm going to let this work for a second, but I can come into Gamma and it's, what do you want to do? Do you want to create notes or an outline from existing content? Do you want to do one shot prompt here? And so I can describe like what it is that I want to make. And so I'll use here. I want to create, let's just try a presentation. I, by the way, voice text because my fingers are so bad. So sorry, this is taking me longer. Presentation for to share with a donor to talk about our work, right? I'm going to just use that. 10 cards is 10 things. Let's see what it does. I'm going to create. So it's generating all this stuff. So look how quickly this did this, right? Now what colors do I want? All right, I'll use this one. And then I want it to be, do I want the content to be minimal, concise, detailed? Let's just say concise. I'll keep it at that. And then I will go back. All right. And hit enter. It's letting me. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, it's giving me the outline again. All right, let me go back here. I think I've selected the wrong one here. Let's see. Well, guys, I think this is my my own shortcoming here. Let's see. So presentation, generate. It's giving me my outline, but it's not giving me my thing, but it does it, I promise. Okay.
We have Christmas carolers outside my doors.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, you know what? I was missing. I didn't see the generate on the bottom because the toolbox. I was like, why isn't this working? It's because I've got so many things up here. So it's generating. So it's taking this information, I've given it that, and it's now generating this whole PowerPoint for me. So if you
Oh,
can see
wow.
this.
Wow. And it will output as a PowerPoint.
Yes, you can download it when you present it. You can present right from here. You can
Oh, wow.
download it as a PowerPoint. You can download it as a PDF.
Yeah.
And then like here's a click back to Perplexity, but here it gave me my outline. So if I didn't want Gamma to actually give me my outline, I wanted to use some context because I wanted to load it with information. Here I've got it. I can copy and paste directly from another large language model directly into Gamma. But Gamma didn't do too bad a job on its own, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to give me images, which is pretty insane.
Wow. I haven't seen that one yet. That's interesting.
I love it. I love it. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to kind of jump back to my presentation, see if there's some other things that we've missed we need to chat about before I go. I think we've covered a lot of it. I want to be mindful, and we're about to close out. So again, I want to just be mindful of time. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts about, where you take this from here? What's like the next steps?
I think a lot of people had to jump off already, but it'll be so helpful to have the recording and your presentation. And I think this has just been such great information.
Yeah, good. I hope it's helpful. Sorry that they had to jump off. We did have an hour and a half, right?
We typically go an hour, but this is such great information. It's hard to stop.
Oh my gosh, I thought you said 90 minutes. Oh my gosh, that's why I didn't go.
That's okay because we can the recording will be useful for everybody. Yeah.
A lot of people.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had 90 minutes in my in my notes here, so my apologies.
That's okay.
Well, good. I hope this was, I hope it was helpful. I know that there's like a lot of new information on here for people that and we jumped around a lot, but I wanted to be able to show like real examples of it and then to be able to, give them something that they can actually use.
And I
think this was great.
Yeah. It's important for people to see how easy it is or can be, so that the examples are good.
Yeah, I think the key is again, like just being able to like do the prompt engineering and then use Biolia. So I think it's really important to be able to use it and then be able to know that you can go and ask ChatGPT or Claude or whatever to help you write the better prompt. Like
Yeah.
that's really what it comes down to. So there's so many, so many practical applications of it. So thank you all for staying on. My apologies. I normally am very prompt.
No problem. Thank you so much, Carolyn. This is so helpful. The first thing I'm going to do is make a custom prompt engineer GPT.
Yes, do that. Do your brand voice, right? The
Yeah.
brand voice is really awesome because that's like a number one complaint is that it's really generic, right? And so
Mhm.
being able to do that, and it's kind of eye-opening. You're like, oh, I didn't realize this is how I came across, or this is like, so now I know and I can use it to, thanks, Jill. But now I can use it to be able to actually like really 10x my day. So
Definitely.
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure. Thank you, Carolyn, and we'll see you when you get down here, hopefully.
yes, couple weeks. We'll go for
Yeah.
a walk.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Take care.
Thanks.
Happy holidays. Merry
Happy
Christmas to everyone.
holidays. You
Holidays.
too.
Happy Hanukkah. Right. Absolutely. Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Happy